Good morning. So recently I shared an old post that actually was written by someone else regarding how people are waking up and how we are literally at war. Now, it's not a physical war. We are not actually fighting against each other, but it's a war for our mind. It's a war to keep our mind enslaved in fear and worries. So, according to this article, there is a mass awakening where people are trying to break free from the matrix. And the reason I share this post is because within I I feel to be true. Within I feel that there is really something happening amongst the people that it gives me sign that there is a need to for change. There is a need to understand what all of this is about. Whoever it's in control, you can call it the matrix, you can call it reptilians, you can call it with whatever names suits you, but it's definitely there is some entities that gain something from keep all of us in this permanent state of fear and worry and struggles. And once you start to become an observer and not be any longer like part of this game, so you started to see things from the outside. You start to notice that anytime there is a sort of awakening, there is a sort of like kind of calm time, something start to happen to destabilize all state of calmness that pervade our society. There is it's by design. I mean, I can see it clearly that it's by design, because what happens is if you leave people long enough to run their own lives without external worries to interfere with their mental thoughts, I could see it. Eventually, people start to try to find a different way to live life that normally seems to me it's more in tune with nature, trying to find a new way to live life that is more in peace within ourselves. And as people started to get on that path, on that path, something happened. And I could see clearly before Brexit and then COVID and then the Ukrainian war and then the climate crisis, then the Israeli war. I mean, let's don't forget that there's the wars that they want us to focus, because there are wars in Saudi Arabia, there is war in Yemen, there is a war in Myanmar, there is a war in Sudan, there is war fucking everywhere. But they want us to focus on that. So it's obvious to me and for people like me that are still part of this, fucked up system, but looking from the outside and not letting the distractions, taking a space in our head, in our minds. We can see that there is a design, there is a purpose, there is a plan to take people away from figure it out what the hell is going on with this existence, and to take them back to a state of fear and worries. Now, what's the main purpose? It can be anything, honestly. I'm not sure, it's definitely they want us to be worried and in fear. Now, if it is because like this, they can do their shitty things and they have power and control over us so that we cannot rebel, or we cannot listen to their bullshits, or there are some entities that feed themselves with our lower energies. I think it's about all of it. I have to be honest. And if they decided to start all this mess that is basically just mass destruction, that means that something among people's consciousness was going on, was awakening, and I could see it. I mean, I work in the coffee industry, and obviously customer service, and I've been doing this for a really long time. So I talk to people on a daily basis. I talk to hundreds of people on a daily basis, and I remember very well that before all of this started, I mean, I live in UK right now, so before the Brexit things happened, amongst people, there was a real, serious talks about get in touch with the inner spirituality. Yoga was booming. People wanted to go back in the countryside. It was like a topic that most of the time people would talk about. For don't like to talk about that, there was a serious concern about the so many long hours, where so people wanted to reduce those working hours so that they could have more time for family, for kids, and so on. Well, look at what's happening now. Now many people, now their main concern is to save money, working more. Everything's by design. Like the increase in prices is not an accident. Like the increase in the bank's interest loan is not an accident. All the new, increase in prices, in raw material prices is not an accident. The government talking about austerity is not an accident. The public healthcare destroyed completely is not an accident. Now people that before they were focused on find peace, living a better life, having more time for family and kids. Now the main concern is I need to work. The main concern is like the news and worry. Now, a lot of people that already was on the, let's say, spiritual path, they understand it is still there. A lot of people that were in the middle woke up completely, and some others just went back in the darkness. But it's obvious that there is now a huge slice of the world populations that is lost, but at the same time it's obvious, like it's conscious and now completely awake that this is a scam, that what is happening worldwide, it's a scam, and there is a bigger plan that is running worldwide, that has an ultimate goal to enslave us, but not just physically, but mentally. Because if they can enslave our mind with fear, brainwash, they are literally enslaved our body as well. Because you can enslave someone's body, but if you cannot enslave their mind, you have no power over them. So a lot of people is actually woke up abruptly, like by force, because obviously all of this is basically thrown on your face, basically the obvious that it's a scam, that they are playing with our lives and that they absolutely don't give a shit about any of us. We are just number for them. I can die tomorrow, they're gonna replace me with someone else doing shit for them. So we got now two type of people. We got the people that went back in the darkness, and now we got the people that woke up and wants to really now to stop all this and wants change. But this time, it's really more a change, spiritually. So to go back to the fact that I shared that article, I do believe that really so many people desperately wants to live in a better society, in a better planet, in tune with nature, and not with concrete buildings, with concrete street, and not with a life spent inside a building with four walls where you only see artificial lights. So all of this is actually pushing people to really having like a real change, not just this time a change for for a better salary or more money, but a change where really we can live in peace with each other and with the nature. So I was discussing with a friend that about like if this mass awakening that is happening right now, it was all planned. Like obviously they like when they started all of this worldwide, they might have known that they would have people waking up by force. So I believe they knew that would happen, but I strongly feel that this is happening because they could not let society go like I would say barely like smooth, because they was never like society has never been normal. I mean, when I talk about a period of calmness, was in the part of the world where I live, but let's not forget that there never been normal. We never had a time of peace and calmness. There never been like a good society. We've been scammed since at least like since I was born. So I live in a fake society, in a fake reality, and a broken system since I was born. So like there never been a good time. There was only a time where they made us believe that it was good and in calm and in peace. But still, that's enough for people to have time to think. And when you start to think, I mean, I found it that it's almost inevitable that the time to think, if you don't have external worries, eventually will take you to think about what is life, why exist, what is all of this, and all those kind of thoughts eventually they're gonna lead you to a place where it's like, okay, I was not born to work like a fucking animal, to pay taxes that is gonna go to buy armies and weapons and go to kill other people, while people in every land suffering and not having enough. So, and you're like, okay, I don't want that anymore. I don't want to work like 8 hours, 10 hours. I want a better society. I want a better place. I don't want to go to work and fighting with my colleagues for a pay rise or for a better working environment, or like, this is not, doesn't make sense. If you give enough time to people, I strongly believe that you reach that point. It's like, all of this doesn't make sense. I don't want to be part of it. I want something better. I want to be like in a place where I can be in peace with other people. I think it's natural for humans. All the bullshit that they taught us, that if they don't put rules and laws to control us, we're gonna end up like in a mad jungle killing each other, is bullshit. I strongly believe, for what I could observe, that if people are left without external worries, without anything to worry them about surviving, they eventually will lead to wanted to cooperate and live in peace with each other, and to live in love with ech other. All of the ego-based reactions and all the fights or survival fights amongst each other, it's always when they basically place us in a place where, in a state where we got barely enough, and they makes us thinking about our own surviving, our rights, and because we've been educated since young age to think only for ourselves and to feed our ego. So like this like sort of deprivation that is not really deprivation, because they take enough that we have to really strive hard to be able to feel that we have some safe net economically, and they literally push us based on how we've been educated to eventually fight one against each other for surviving, for survivor, or you say surviving, to survive. So I see that I feel that they knew that longer the perceived calm time would goes, and more people, especially with internet, that I strongly believe it was initially introduced with this plan to basically to use it to a certain point in the future to control of us. At the same time, it's a tool that obviously was giving free information, and it was giving a lot of information we needed that was hidden before, when we didn't have the availability we have now with internet. Was would bring people to a point of non-return where you could not be possible to take them to a state of fear. So they plans everything is planned, every step is planned. So they knew that this is the right time for them, and they knew that there would be a mass awakening. The thing is that they cannot predict the future. So they can predict there's gonna be, but they cannot predict how much, how many. So I feel there is a real strong movement now. I can see it talking to people. I can see it on the internet. I can see it on left around. It's getting more and more and more people that wants to stop all of this. They want like a society that is in tune with nature. There is more and more people that wants go back even more than before, to small community where there is a sense of community, where there is, like we can help each other. There is this movement that wants to get out from those huge megalopolis prisons they created for us. And, I believe that we are at war. It's a mental war. They are trying to destroy our mind, and the war is real. The war is real. They want total control of our mind and our soul. Now, obviously, I don't know how it's gonna end. I feel, at least for personal experience, that when we are on a state of higher energies, higher frequencies, it's feel like they cannot touch us. For experience, I know that my higher frequencies affect my external reality, and it does affect it in a way that will always lead to a better place. So it feels strongly that if we are surrounded by higher frequencies, they cannot interfere with our inner creation, like they are creation of our own reality. Ultimately, all of this that we call reality, at least for what I've been through, is just an illusion. It really looks so real, but it's fucking not. And I could see personally how I could reshape some sort of like events that felt like a dead end, and they would change completely. Or like I could witness things that was said in a certain way, and then they would change, and even words would change, that like someone would say, oh, there is no solution for that. And then eventually increasing my inner frequencies got to a point that the same person came back to me and said, oh, there is a solution. Like what the person said before never existed. So the reality is not real. But the only way we can affect it, it's with our inner energies, that is our emotions, and our inner energies will affect the external reality. And so if you look properly, you can see that everything the system created, it's to keep our inner energies as low as possible, so that we can create the kind of insane world, insane society that they want. So we are at war. It's a war to take control of our mind and soul. And the way we can fight back is to first not responding in the way they actually want, with violence, fighting, anger, but we respond from a place of love, where only we focus is to create a better reality where they cannot interfere. So it's really important that we don't let those external events affect us. Our job is to remind us daily that this is not real, and what is real is all what is within, and the love energy that we can emanate from our soul is what is going to create a better planet. We have no choice. It's the only way.